Okay, so today we're back on the Model A for a bit. We're going to be all over the place. What I've done right now is I've taken the hoses off, and I've taken the lower rad hose off, and I'm going to run the hose through there. Regardless whether I get the engine to turn over or don't get it to turn over, I've got to make sure the rad's at least somewhat cleaned out, right? We're trying to keep this on the low down. Customer does not want to spend a lot of money, just wants to see if we can get it up and running and driving again. Doesn't have to run absolutely perfect, just start up and go. Start, go, stop. Make it down to the ice cream store a couple blocks down the road, and that's it. So anyway, I got that off. Got the old pipe here, and see they got the drain tube in them. We're gonna have to take the lines off for the gas and get that cleaned up. I shot some more stuff in the cylinders. So we're just playing around with it today, seeing where we can get. Okay, so I put the hose in there and I ran it, and the good news is it came out with a little bit of stuff at first, but it's basically clear. You can see, I don't know if you can see a little bit of crap, but it's basically nice and clean water. Not that it's under pressure, but no, if they had huge holes or leaks, it'd be pissing out of the core, and it's not. So the next step is getting your belt off a Model A. How are you going to get the belt off? Well, I'm going to tell you. If you look way underneath here, there's a bolt and a nut on the front side. You're going to loosen that, and what that's going to do is that's all. Can you believe that? That's all that's holding this generator on. Now when I turn it down, you're going to see it better. See there? Bolt goes through. I can't tell, the sun's in my eyes, so I don't know how it is. Bolt goes through, nut there. That's it. So I'm going to take this off because I'm just going to get a few things out of the way here. And you know, for being 1930 though, look at the wiring in this thing. The wiring even still looks good. Like, I'm going to have faith in this car that it's going to free up and it's going to run. So we're going to be okay, but I'm going to get that off of there right now. I got the belt off, because like I say, either way, it's going to need to have this stuff taken off regardless. So, and then we got a little more room to play around in there. I just started this hose. I want you guys to see how clean that water. Look how clean that water is coming out of this block. That don't necessarily mean anything. I mean, when things get hot, it's like a dishwasher. It has to get hot to get the dirt off and loosen and free stuff up in there. But still, normally if it was clogged up full of shit, that water still wouldn't be coming out that crystal clear. That's a good sign. It's a good sign. I don't know how good the water pump is. So, but like I say, we don't want to get too carried away until we get this engine to turn over. I'm just trying to get at things a little better. But things are looking good so far, I think. Except that it's seized. Okay, so the gas tank is full of rust, right? Full. It's just, oh god. And the gas tank on Model A's, if you're on for certain with Model A's, it's actually this upper cowl, panel, dash, whatever you want to call it. So what you got to do is you got to pull the windshield out, because you have to get this out of here. So you have to pull the windshield out, which involves first you take this dash panel off. It's quite simple, anyone can figure it out. You'll see the screws, you're going to take it off. You've got 4 screws, oh no, sorry, maybe is there 5? 2, 4, 5. 5 screws, and then you got one that goes down in each corner underneath, and that panel comes off. Then after you do that, you want to take your instrument cluster out, which is held on 4 screws. Your fuel gauge will stay in there. You want to do a couple wires on your amp meter and your ignition switch, and that'll come down, okay? And don't forget you got your speedo cable that unscrews from there. Once you get that out, you're going to go up, you're going to open the window up, you're going to go up top, and there's a bunch of, you can't see them, but there's a bunch of holes. Do you see them there? 1, 2, 3, that's screws that go up in there and holds the window frame up in there, and it's just on a big hinge. So you're going to drop all those off, and once you get those dropped off, then you're going to take these off. These sidebars, and your windshield's going to pop out through the front. Now let's take a look at the windshield so you understand what I'm saying. So the first thing I said you're going to do is take your dash panel off. There's your dash panel, right there. Can't miss the screws, okay? There's your instrument cluster. 2 screws, 1, 2 screws, can't miss those. Like I said, couple wires on your amp meter, you mark them. That's your speedo going into there, and your ignition switch just pops out of there. Then you got your windshield. This is your windshield. Remember I showed you on the roof. See that hinge? That's a hinge right there, which we'll make sure we clean up and oil very good before we replace it. Anyway, that's held on with screws, and then it's just got your side window pieces that I showed you right here. right here that hold it on from there. That because these windshields in these cars pop in and out. So you're going to do that. The other thing you need to do is you need to get this, if you have it, this chrome piece off. Now this chrome piece is just held on with a nut on either side on the bottom. And how you're going to get to that is, well, I haven't done it yet, but you're going to take your wooden floor pan out, and the nut's going to be right there, and you're going to unloosen the nut on either end, and that chrome piece is going to lift off there. Okay, so now you're going to get that out of the way. Then the next thing you're going to do, I know it's a lot of work to get a gas tank out. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to undo this panel here. Now this panel has a screw in either corner, and then all the way along on the inside, this one's full of Phillips screws. You're going to get that off. Then you are almost there from getting your tank off. Have I lost you yet? Okay, because I think I've lost myself. Anyway, it's a bit of a journey to get there. And then you're going to find yourself someone good that's going to flush it and clean it. Now I'm going to try and flush and clean it myself. Then I'll probably take it into a shop after that. But I'm going to try and get the worst of it out here to try and save the customer some money. Okay, well, I took the hood off. Now how I took the hood off was I literally just undid the two screws and nuts that go here, lifted off from the bracket, slid it out from its pivot point and took it off. I'm just trying to save as much time as I can for taking things apart and putting it back together for the customer, because he doesn't want to get too carried away like I keep saying here. So we've got this piece, oops, we got this piece off I told you about with all the screws, which had nuts on the inside. So I held it with a screwdriver, one inside the car, and underneath, you looked underneath, you could get them with nuts, a nut driver. So now what I'm going to do is, you can see I started taking the screws out here. I'm going to finish getting those out. And then I still got to get this cowl band off, so I got to get the floor out to get that out. And then I think, I could be wrong, but I do think at that point, I think the tank is ready. No, tank's not ready to lift out, my mistake. Then what you got to do is you got two big screws that go up through here, up through your column. So you undo them, this will come down, and you can see I've put some lubricant on there because unfortunately someone's put them in there with a flat blade and stripped the shit out of them. Fuck, I'm going to be honest with you, I cannot stand flat blade screws and anyone that uses them. They're useless. Anyway, but I get if you're doing a complete restoration, you want it to look original, you would use them, but I would never use them. They're just garbage. But they weren't garbage, I guess, in the day when they put them together, right? They came, you know, I got to remember I'm dealing with something that's 100 years old, so what do you expect? But it just takes time. You can't watch the clock when you're doing this. It just is what it is. The customer's just going to have to pay the bill. Here's what it is. Basically almost a day just to, well, it's going to be a day. At the end of the day, you're going to see where I'm at here, just to do this. Yeah. Oh well. What do? You just calm down and maybe go grab a Coca-Cola in a glass bottle. Okay. Got all the screws out. Tank is off. Heavy as hell because it's full of rust and crap, but it's off. Now unfortunately, in the bracket, they were not going to come out no matter what I tried. They were flat blade, stripped out. They wouldn't come out. So I ended up just cutting in between this. And it didn't hurt nothing because I cut in between, and I don't know if you can see. Let me get to the other side. It's easier to get on the passenger side always because you don't have to call it pedals in your way. You car guys know that. See how the stud, I've left it hanging down? So what I did was I just cut. I cut into the lower piece. So this piece I had in my hand. There, let me grab it. I cut this. Oh my god. I cut this down lower and pulled it down. So a piece of this is missing, but the stud's hanging out so I can get it now. Heat it up, vice grip it, do what I got to do. Because these screws were kind of sunk in here, I didn't have a choice. So I cut it there, and it's not going to hurt nothing. Because honestly, all it means is this goes back up in there. You just use a little shorter screw. This still fits around the column. Because that column had cloth wrapped around it, or rubberish material, to kind of hold it from moving around. So I can... You might think when you put that up there, now it's going to be too small for the column. It's not. The column still had a good 1/4 inch of movement there, in there, if it wasn't for that cloth piece. So nothing's going to change. I can still fit a thinner piece of rubber in there and still snug that up in there. Quick, easy, get it done, get it out. So that's it. So now we'll lift the tank out here, and away we go. So I don't know. See, it just lifts up, guys. That's it. That's your gas tank, is your dash. Now what I can do is I can set the hood back on here for the night. I'll just leave it sitting here so at least the engine is covered up. Inside, I don't care if it gets wet. There's no seats, there's no upholstery, and the floor is taken out of it. So if it rains, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. If anything, it's gonna do its good to get some of that smell of that rat piss out of here. Something's got to get rid of that smell. Okay, well, the good news and the bad news. The good news is, after 6 hours of messing around, not just trying to get the gas tank out, but majority of it doing that because every screw and bolt is rotten. Good news is we got it out. The bad news is this thing is probably 3 inches thick, full of crap inside. Look at this. It's just full of crap. It just reeks. Can't get the fuel sender out, can't do nothing. So, the other good news is I've already found a decent tank that I can pick up for him. Time you flush that, clean that, even if you could do that, you probably spend $300 to $500 here in Canada. I found him another tank for basically around $300. That's in a car, running, proven, good. They're not going to use it. They're going to change it out because they're going to hot rod it. So instead of cutting that tank up, they're going to sell it to me. So the bad news is, there's always good and bad. Got to cut and try and match that color and spray it for him. The good news is, that car is far from perfect, so it ain't going to matter if it's not 100% sprayed right. You got to have a fuel tank or you can't drive it. What's more important, getting the color right or driving the car? So I've had enough of this car for today. It's frustrating when you're, but I get it. The car was restored back sometime in the 60s or something like that, I believe, or 70s, because at some point it was done. Someone put fiberglass fenders on it, and it was repainted once in its life. But it's just, you know, I get that it, you know, it's an older, almost 100 years old now, but still, oh, they're a nightmare. You soak everything, you try your best to get it apart, and away you go. So we're going to move on to something else. We're going to move on to painting doors for the 65 Chev pickup tonight. Let's get the doors painted. And that way there we get the doors painted, then we can move on to getting that 65 Chev pickup cab together. So Sean's in here hanging doors, getting things prepped out. So we can move on to that. There we go, it's got some doors. This is tack clothing them right now. And while we're at it, we got a couple of valve covers for a buddy of mine to paint. So we'll paint those too. So that's what's happening right now. And then Sean's been just working away here on the GTO. Like I say, see, he had this all covered in mud. Now look at, you can almost see all the metal again. He's just sanding it back off. Put it on, sand it off. So the gold stuff is like a very, very light filler that we put on. So that's basically what's there. There's not much white filler. What you're seeing there, that's not even body filler. That's the primer. So the filler is where you see that, and it's very little. It's like, here, I don't know how to. It's metal. Look at, he's breaking through everywhere, and he's not even done sanding it. He's sanding it off. So there we are. We just had to pull that out so we could use the booth for this evening. So that's what's going to go on here this evening. That's right, the day's not over. Today's not going to be over today until like probably 9 o'clock tonight. So we're just going to keep trucking through, doing what we can, doing the best we can at it. Let's cover this up because I can see right now this is uncovered. And if we don't cover it, we're going to get overspray. You don't want overspray on parts that are freshly painted. Cover that up. There we go. Oh, so we're getting there. So today it's busy, busy, busy. What's in this room, y'all say? This is our parts room. Everything's labeled, so I'll show you how I do it. 1972 Chev pickup, boom, that rack. 1956 Ford pickup, boom, that rack. 1965 Chev pickup, right there. GTO 70, right there. Mercedes-Benz, towels covering it up, right there. Try and keep everything as organized as possible around here. That's how you get jobs done quick. You all wonder, how do you do that with just three people? Then my painter would be 4, but he only comes to paint. How do you get all that stuff done? I get numerous people asking me this all the time. And the reason we get it all done is organization. Organization and a game plan every day. Every day before the next day happens. Today I already know what's going to happen tomorrow. Plan it out, tell the boys this is where you're at, boom, boom, boom. Give them a list that they cannot complete. not to rush them. They know it's never to rush them. Give them a list that they cannot complete of what needs to be done in what order. So that way they got a list, they know what they're doing, they're happy, they're not looking for me if I say, just go put the door on that car. Then an hour later, where's Rick? I can't find Rick. Where's Rick? What do I do now? Or they find me, what do I do now? What do I do? Give them a list that's impossible. Give them a list always. What I do is I give my guys a list of minimum a solid day's work to 2 days work. Give them that. But I tell them, you're only on it for today. Tomorrow we'll redo that list. We'll come back to it and see where you're at. And you might just continue and finish it off, or I might add more to it. Stay ahead of the game that way and stay organized. The more you keep things neat, tidy, and organized, you're not running around looking for shit in the shop. Even though most of the time I forget what shit is and I am running around. Okay, I'm going to set this camera down for a bit, grab a bite to eat, get back out here, and let's do some painting. And we'll bring you guys along for just a little bit of it. Okay? Okay. Okay guys, the sun's going down. There's our view in the back of our shop. And I believe George is spraying doors. I'm going to give you one quick look, then I'm out. Oh, we'll give him a second. He's not set up yet. I'll be in a minute. I don't know, maybe we'll just film it right through here. That's what we're doing. See, he's mixing the paint, getting ready. Let's give him a couple seconds here. While he gets ready here, let's take a look at my shoe box. Just a quick look. So Sean's just, like I say, he's roughing in the bodywork to the quarter while it's on. I mean the bodywork on the door to the quarter while the door's on. Once he's happy with it, then we take it off and he finalizes it. Always easier to do it on stands. And then prime it, and then everything here, both sides of this car will be in first primer. I think the next step he'll start on is probably the roof. Come back into the sail panel and then work with the trunk lid. Oh, I hear him spraying. Let's take a look. This is what you're going to get, because I just can't breathe this shit in tonight. He's spraying the ashtray and glove box door over there right now. There we go. A little look-see there. There we are. Again, these parts are for the 65 Chevy pickup, which hopefully they'll be dry enough for me tomorrow around lunchtime, and I'll start putting them on. We even paint in behind where the door panel is still. That middle area is doing right now, that's all covered up with the door panel, but we give it a little bit of paint there, why not? One done. Okay. That's all you're gonna get for now. You'll get some more later tonight. What we'll do is we'll show you when it's all done in there. It won't be that long. 2 doors, a couple small parts, probably a couple hours. Right. Yeah, that's about it. So I think I'm gonna go finish working around the shop and yard. That's what I'm doing. I'm not working for customers now, but I'm working for myself. So I'm gonna go do that, and then I'll sit down around 8:30ish. Okay. Well, obviously the sun has gone down, hasn't it, folks? Let's go see. I'm gonna shut the fans down now. It should be cleared out. The doors are done. And we did a set of valve covers for a friend while we were here at it too. Oh boy. Ooh. Hasn't cleared down that much, but anyway. There's the valve covers. Woohoo! There's the doors. Just plugging my nose here. If I sound weird, I thought maybe it would have died down a bit. It's died down some. Look at that. Gorgeous. Alright. Okay guys, sorry for the quick little shot. I gotta get out of here. I'm not risking my health to show you a photo. As ignorant as that may sound, I just ain't doing it. Whew. Oh boy, oh boy. That stuff's bad. Okay, well, hey. That's it for now. I'm going to shut the lights down. Lights are out for tonight, and we'll be back at it tomorrow, and we'll be putting a C10 together. This is one hell of a long video, but it's a fun one. Okay, so here's our doors that got painted last night. Okay, nice and dry. Beautiful. No runs, no down even any dust. Absolutely killer. Look at that. So the next step now is I'm going to put some masking tape along there just in case, because sometimes you go to put them on, you might rub in that corner because they're kind of heavy. Get the bolts ready, get everything ready. Got all the tools here ready. Got a poker, got an impact, got wrenches. We're ready to go. Got my water. I'm ready to go. So I'm going to start masking this up, and let's get some doors on this bad boy today. Okay, we got a door on. Just got to tighten it and line it up properly. Remember, like I told you, always leave the door striker and latches off. Always leave them off. Get your door lined up. And what you want to do to line your door up is get your body line lined up first. Get your body lines. Make sure your door is in line with your rocker. It should be nice and even with the rocker. And then you start from there. And so far, it's just set it on the first time. I'm doing pretty good. A little bit of tweaking, and I think we got it. And in the meantime, got AJ's towing over there, dropping off. And the next project you'll see next week, a 1931 Chevy Coupe. Yep, 31 Chevy Coupe just rolled into the shop today, doing some mechanical stuff. Okay, doors on, lined up. Now remember, the last thing you want to do is start greasing or oiling any kind of these latches. I know they're old, they need oil. Let me set this camera down. They're old and they need oil, but you don't want to do that until after you painted the vehicle. So anyway, like I told you, you put the door on, get the door lined up. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to put, obviously, your stop in, because these trucks are notorious for hitting on the front cowls. Then you're going to bolt in your latch here. Then you're going to do this last. This is your last thing. Always remember, put the door on first and get it lined up. So, and there we go. Hose is nice, body lines are in line, even looking gap. So now what I'm going to do is, probably because I don't want to work next to the porta potty at this moment, I'm going to tackle this fender next year. Get everything out for this fender and start putting that on. Again, we're going to run our dum-dum putty in between here too. Why not? Put a little bit up on here, right? And away we go. So let's find a fender. We have got a fender on. Fenders on these trucks, where are they going to mount to? Well, when you get all your cowl and stuff off, you got two bolts under here, okay? You got your bolts obviously along under your hood. The hood was on it right now. You got one bolt down and behind here. Then you can't see it, but up in here, the fender has 4 bolts that go up in there, okay? So there's your bolts on your fender. That fender's on. So I think next we're going to tackle this next door, get it on. Taking a little longer than I thought. God, I don't know why. I've had this truck together a million times, but I think it's just taking a little longer because it's in final primer and you got to be way more careful not to chip or to mark it up. But look at that fender line. I don't know how it looks in the camera, but trust me, it looks beautiful. Fender line, the door gap, everything, door closes nice. I think we're happy with this side. So let's move on to the next door. Okay, driver's side door is on. Kind of tight here, so I can't stand back for you guys to really see, but nice decent gap. It's working good. Closes, click, click. Again, door should always be in line with the edge of the rocker. So, the next step is finding everything for this fender and getting the fender on. We're getting there. Perfect. It's looking like a truck. And it is never coming apart again now. It'll get run over with 600 and she'll be painted. Yep, we're doing good. Doing good on this Thursday afternoon. Going strong. Shop's never been this busy. This year the shop is just like crazy insane. Okay, that's it for now. Till next week. Next week you ask what the plan is. Well, the plan is next week is we got to fit the cowl pieces back on, and the well, you know, the upper cowl piece there too. Got to fit them back on, then fit the hood. But obviously that all gets painted off the truck, but we want to fit that one more time. So that'll fit. That won't take long. I mean, I would think that in the hood, couple hours you're done. Fit that, and then basically we'll start painting the black halo in there. Get the truck in 600 and she's off to the spray booth. And then we obviously, like I said, we got to take the box, paint all the edges of the box where it bolts together that you don't see. Get some paint in there, paint that, and bolt the box together. Then we'll set the box on the truck to take it to the paint booth, and we'll lift it off at the paint booth. And we'll either paint the box the first night or we'll paint the truck the first night. Don't know how it works. Usually we'll do the box and tailgate. Tailgate will be off it, obviously. Box would get painted one night with the tailgate, and the other night would be the truck with the hood sitting behind it or in front of it getting painted. Yeah. So we are getting close. So that's it on this video. You will not get a video this Sunday, unfortunately, because I'm taking off, going away a little vacation again. I know they're almost ending soon. My vacation time is ending in mid-October. There'll be no more vacation, so next few weekends there's still vacations coming up, trying to get in as many as we can while the weather's still decent. So you will see me next Tuesday, and that's all I got to say. So hey, it's always a good time at old time. We'll catch you next time, and don't think I've disappeared if you don't see too many posts over the weekend. Okay, see y'all later.